Okay, Parshas Vayechi, Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Yosef. And if you notice, you haven't seen this for a long time, Vayechi, because we did all 3-4 Parshas, but they all got lost in the archives. Vayechi, Miketz, Vayigash, Vayechi. You'll find them somewhere in there, somewhere in 2007 if you go down. It's there, but I can't do another 45-minute thing. But what I'll do is I'll say a 5-minute vart from the Mayan Beis Sheva on Vayechi, and that'll be that. If you want to learn the long Vayechi, go last year's Vayechi, you'll see the 45-minute shir. This year was done, but got lost somewhere in the archives. Let's do this 5 minutes on Vayechi, on the Mayan Beis Sheva. Mem Zayin Lamed Aleph. Mem Zayin Lamed Aleph. So Yaakov is now in Mitzrayim 17 years. He came at 130, now he's 147, 17 years. And he says, Yosef, I'm getting sick, I'm sick. And I don't know how long more to live, but I have one request from you. I never asked you to do a special favor for me, because I don't want to take advantage of your office as the Prime Minister and give better treatment to me than to the other people in the country, because they'll complain. So, I have to ask you one question. This no one else can do. No one can do this. Pharaoh, the Egyptians, when I die, will deify me into a god, because I stopped the hunger after 2 years. There was supposed to be 5 more years of hunger. There were 2 years of hunger, supposed to be 7. There were 5 more years, but I stopped it right when I came. And I told Pharaoh, Brooklyn, as soon as you go out tomorrow at the Nile River, it'll start to overflow again, like it used to, right up to your legs. It's not you. It's not the Nile. I make an ace. And I want to thank you for making my son the Prime Minister. And it's Min HaShemayim. God controls the world, not you. And they would have deified Yaakov and made put him in a mummy, in a pyramid, and mummified him. He didn't want that. He said, Yosef, don't bury me here. Swear to me. Yosef said, I will not do it. It's not good enough, your word. Swear. Why don't you trust the tzaddik when he says, I'll do it? Why do you have to swear? A tzaddik's word is his bond. Why do you have to swear? Mam Zayin Lamed Aleph. Yom Hishovali, swear to me. Yishva lo, he swore to him. Yishtachu Yisrael Rosh Hamito. And Yisrael bowed down. That means Yaakov to the head of the bed. The Shekhinah is always on the highest part of the bed of a sick person. That's why we visit a chol and never sit on his bed or on any chair in the room higher than the pillow. Because the Shekhinah is on the top of the bed of a sick person. And number 2, it means a Rosh Hamito, the top of his children. That's a euphemism. Yosef, the Prime Minister of a country that's Shtufei Zimah, and he was a tzaddik tomim. He's thank God that his child, who is the Prime Minister of a country depraved in depravity, Shtufei Zimah, is a tzaddik tomim. He says, swear to me. Because he understood that you can have all the best intentions, but Pharaoh could override you. Because remember, Pharaoh said, you run the whole country. You have my ring, my emblem, everything. Except my throne is higher than you. I have the last word about everything. So he was afraid about that, Yaakov. He doesn't want to be in Mitzrayim because he said there, I see in the future there are going to be 10 plagues, and one of them is Kinnim. The 3rd plague, lice. The whole earth of Mitzrayim turned into lice. He didn't want the earth, when he's buried there, he didn't want the earth, the lice tickling his body onto the ground. Didn't want that. Number 2, even though tzaddikim have tchias amesim, even in other countries, but they roll on the ground, gilgul mecholos, in those tunnels that come up in Eretz Yisrael. I don't want the gilgul mecholos. I don't want it. Get me out of here. Swear. He almost says, Shovali, swear to me. Yishba lo, he swore to him. Yishtach Yisrael Rosh Hamito. And Yisrael bowed down to the head of his bed, meets greatest son Yosef, who is in the greatest chance of becoming assimilated because he's the king of a country that's highly technologically advanced but morally depraved. He said, thank God. He remained religious, and thank God for that. Rashi, al Rosh Hamita, Shoysa Mitosu Shlema. His bed was complete. It's a euphemism. All the children were tzaddikim. There was no Merasha in the family. Yosef Molach Melchu, he was a king. V'od, Nishba, Leben Goyim, he was amongst the Goyim in jail for 12 years, and he stayed pure. He's a righteous man. That's what Rashi said. End quote. Now we have to understand, says the Mayan. Is right before his death. Shall Yaakov until now? Only when he bowed down, when Yosef swore, then we thank God that now his bed is complete. Even the oldest son is a tzaddik tomim. You didn't know that the last 17 years? That's my father's question. Doesn't Gemara say? Doesn't the Chazal say? Yodati be Yodati. I know my son. I know he's talking about Yosef. Why I switched my hands. You know what I mean? Ma'aser Reuven. He know what Reuven did. He knew it. And he knew what Yehuda did with Bilhah. This is all he knows. How come he doesn't know that Yosef is the greatest tzaddik in the world? Only after he swore? That's the question. Eich lo yirgash. How come he couldn't detect? The Masav Shel Yosef. Ismaho. And a wonder. He knew Yehuda, what Yehuda did eventually when the Ruach HaKodesh came back. And when that Yosef was not dead, he just dipped that Kesonis in the blood. And he didn't do anything with Tamar. He knew that. He never intended to do anything. A Malach pushed him, and he knew what Reuven did. And he switched up the beds, and he knew everything. And when he switched his hands, he says, "Look, the older one is on the left. I mean, the younger one is on the left, and the older one is on the right. You want me to put my hands like this? Yeah, he's a great man, but he's going to be greater. Put his hands over here, because this one from Ephraim will come Yoshua ben Nun. And this one on the right side, Menashe will come Gidon, great man, but not as great as Yeshua that comes from the younger one. I know my son, I know everything, I know, don't worry about it. He switched his hand, even though he couldn't see. That he knows what's going to happen to Ephraim and Menashe, and he knows about Yehuda, he knows about Reuven. How come he couldn't know what's going to be with Yosef? That he's a tzaddik tomim. He needs an oath, and when he was swore, the whole body trembled, the whole house trembled, like when Har Sinai, when they swear, they said, Nasev and Ishma, the whole mountain trembling. How come he needed this from Yosef? That's the question. Therefore you have to say, Yosef HaTzadik kept the whole Torah secretly. Nobody knew how holy he really was. With God, holiness with God, that kind of private stuff, nobody knew. Yeah, you don't eat drape and you wear tzitzis and everything, but how do you know really you're Yosef Chaim? Really, who knows that? You put on a good show, a lot of people. How do you know the private avod? How do you know that you're really you're sneeze with God? How do you know you're really pure thing? You're the real thing. How do you know that? No one knows. He hid his ways from every human being. Shafilu Ovav, even his father, Baruch Kodsho. He couldn't tell if Yosef was 99 or 100%. Al Shem Tzidkas Kazu Nikra Yosef. That's because he was so purely holy. He's called Yosef Tzaddik Yesod Olam, the foundation of the world. Moshe is the ultimate teacher. Called Moshe Rabbeinu. Kohen is Aaron's the biggest Kohen. Aaron a Kohen. David is the biggest first Melech. David Hamel. Yosef is called HaTzadik. Ultimate, quintessential tzaddik. Not because he does mitzvahs. No, because he doesn't do averos. With the Ishel Potiphar, nobody knew that except father and Yosef. Private stuff. Only God knows. When the brothers came down and he had them, he could have had them all killed. Vateshev to remain. Esau with strength. Kashto his bow. He didn't take revenge. No revenge. Never. No revenge, ever. And he had self-control with Esau Potiphar. He remained strong. Tevas Bahon. Tevas. It says in the Targum, Al Dekayim Oraiso Besisro. He kept the Torah secretly. Not even the great tzaddik Yosef. Yaakov knew about it. So, but when he was swearing, B'Shem Hashem, he had to use Yud Kei Vav Kei. Hari Nihanishba Be'emes Devara B'Amitzah Shel Yisbarach. B'Shem, when he swore with God's name, the man who swears because of the fear of his words, that he doesn't keep his words, it's death. Lochein is Dazakol Odom Kula, the whole world was trembling. Yosef in the building, the whole world. B'shosh Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, B'sinai, La Yisisos Hashem L'kecha L'ashad. The people were trembling, the whole world, the mountain was trembling. That was an oath. I'll kill you if you do that. It says in Shuos Lamates Amar Aleph. When he swore to his father, his whole body started to tremble. That's how Yaakov knew. The man was not 99%. He was 100%. He couldn't hold that back because he had to use Shem Hashem. That he couldn't hide from his father. Oz only then, when Yaakov was 147. Yosef at this time was 56. He had 55 more years to go. This was his road, this was the majority of his life. Once you're a tzaddik, more than 50%, you're tzaddik, most probably going to be a tzaddik the rest of your life. The scholar, Yaakov, then it was revealed to Yaakov, amitis tzidkoso, the ultimate, absolute truth of righteousness of Yosef, he saw clearly, released fakers without even a mashu of a doubt. Shemitoso shlem, his bed was complete. Yosef, who had the greatest opportunity to become assimilated and fagoyish, became tzaddik yisod olam. He bowed down to God. V'shevach v'hodoyo. All my children are tzaddikim, even Yosef. That's the bar. Rabbi Yosef, Zayik is on the start, and the next seder we're going to do is Shemos, and that'll be a little bit longer, regular 35 minutes. Be good, and Zayik is going to learn the Maya Beis Sheva Mamach's Ruach HaKodesh.